The midsummer sun in Italy does not just shine. It pours down like liquid gold, thick and heavy. It drenches everything in a haze of heat and brilliance. Alara stepped off the train with a backpack that felt heavier than it was. She held a digital itinerary that dictated her every move. At 9 in the morning, she was supposed to visit the marina. By 10, she had to be at the scenic overlook. Lunch was scheduled for 12 sharp. It was at a highly rated restaurant she had found online weeks ago. She was a traveler who collected moments like trophies. She was terrified that missing a single landmark would mean her trip was incomplete. But the Italian coast had other plans. The cobblestone streets of the village were a labyrinth of steep ascents and confusing turns. The air smelled of salt and drying laundry. Crowds of tourists surged through the main streets like a river. Their voices drowned out the sound of the ocean. Alara checked her phone to find the way to the famous viewpoint. But the screen remained stubbornly blank, no signal. She stood there surrounded by thousands of people. Yet she felt a sudden spike of panic. Without her map, she was blind. She turned left hoping to find a clearing. Instead, she found herself in a narrow alleyway where the noise of the crowd faded into a distant hum. She kept walking, fueled by the anxious need to find her way back to the planned route. The path wound upward. It was flanked by tall houses painted in shades of burnt orange, dusty pink, and canary yellow. They looked like giant toy blocks stacked precariously against the cliffside by a playful giant. The further she climbed, the quieter it became. The frantic energy of the main square was replaced by the lazy buzzing of bees and the soft clatter of dishes from open windows. Alara finally stopped to catch her breath at a small landing carved out of the rock. Her frustration began to melt away, replaced by something else, awe. From here, she could see the rooftops creating a patchwork quilt of terracotta tiles descending toward the sea. The water was not just blue. It was a deep, impossible cobalt. It sparkled as if someone had scattered millions of diamonds across its surface. Just a few steps away sat a tiny shop. It was barely wider than a doorway tucked under a cascading canopy of purple bougainvillea. An old man with a face weathered by the sun smiled at her. He did not ask if she wanted directions. He simply pointed to the metal tubs of gelato. Alara ordered a scoop of lemon and basil. She sat on a crumbling stone wall, her legs dangled over the edge of the path. The gelato was cold and sharp, a shocking contrast to the heat of the afternoon. It melted quickly, running over her fingers. In her old life back in the city, this would have been a mess to clean up. Here, it felt like a reminder. The ice cream would not wait for her to check her emails. The sun would not pause its descent while she framed the perfect photo. Life was happening right now, sticky and sweet and fleeting. She reached into her bag and pulled out a blank postcard she had bought at the station. It featured a simple illustration of the coast. She clicked her pen, hovering over the paper. She thought about the itinerary she had missed. She thought about the famous restaurant she would never find. Then she looked at the vast shimmering horizon before her. She began to write, "Dear Mom, today I got lost. I missed the museum and I missed the lunch reservation. I have no idea where I am and my phone is dead. I am sitting on a wall eating the best lemon gelato of my life. I am watching the boats turn into tiny white specks on the water. I realize that for the first time in years, I am not looking at a screen. I am looking at the world. I hope you are well. Wish you were here to get lost with me." Alara dropped the pen and leaned back against the warm stone. The panic was gone. The need to control the day had vanished. She understood now that travel was not about checking boxes on a list. It was about the spaces in between. It was about the unexpected alleyways, the wrong turns, and the quiet moments where you finally hear your own thoughts. She took another bite of the melting gelato. She watched as the sun began to dip lower, painting the sky in strokes of violet and gold. She was exactly where she needed to be,